Hey, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen, and today I thought I would torture myself by going through my 25 and 25. I have my tea, I have my list that I'm going to keep here on the screen the entire time. So let's get into it. So I was updating my reading spreadsheet the other day because I started a new book. I finished a couple other ones and was just trying to get things up to date. And then I clicked on the tab that had my 25 books in 2025. What I've normally done for the past few months is just kind of skip over that tab completely or look at it really quick and then move on. I'm just ignoring the problem at this point. These reading spreadsheets are made by my friend Allie, and I'll link them in the description below. In the spreadsheet, which you can change stuff up, you can take things away, add things. She has two different sheets, one for 12 and 12, and then a 25 and 25. That one is going to obviously change every year. Last year it was 24 for 24. Next year it'll be 26 for 26. You get the idea. I could have done 12 and 12, but I was like, no, I know that I'll definitely read more than 25 books. Let's go ahead and do the 25 and 25. I'm looking at the screenshot I took of it that I'm going to keep here, but I also have it blown up on the screen in front of me and feeling a little bit of shame, if I have to say so. Now, nobody made me do this. I decided to do this. And part of it was because at the time I was in the middle of the Live Ship trilogy, and I had already started a couple of Dungeon Crawler Carl books. And so I was like, easy, I can totally do this. I'll put a whole bunch of series on there, ones that I'm in the middle of, ones that I know I'm going to read. I'll be able to finish this probably way before the year is done. Not a problem. Oh, past Kristen, what a liar you were. God. So I figure we can just go through the list, go one at a time, and see what I read and what I haven't. This is extremely up to date. You can see in the upper right hand corner it says completed 5. At least I've started. At least I've made a little baby dent in the list. At least it doesn't say 0. You have to give me that much credit. Forgive the lighting. It's a very rainy day. I'm trying to make sure it's not going to be too dark on the screen, but I digress. I'm just putting this off. Even with the video, I'm like, let's just ignore it. Let's just not look at it. If you don't look at it, you don't have to admit to putting off some of these books. I started this with the best of intentions. I really did. And I really did think at the beginning of the year that I would get through these no problem. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I was like, I can get this done probably most of these by at least mid-year. You know, like Dungeon Crawler Carl, the Robin Hobb books, no problem. Well, okay, we can't put this off any longer because the next thing you know, it's going to be December and all of these will still it'll look like this the entire time. So the first one is Assassin's Apprentice, and I've completed this one. I finished this one a few months ago. I started this after I started the Live Ship Traders because when I was reading the Live Ship Traders trilogy, I knew I wanted to continue on. So my friends were saying, okay, go back and read the Farseer trilogy because you're not going to understand anything after the Live Ship Traders trilogy if you don't read the Farseer trilogy first. So I said, no problem. Went back, read Assassin's Apprentice, devoured that one. I love Robin Hobb's books so much. Bet you've never heard me say that before. So I finished that one, and because I was still in the middle of reading the Live Ship Traders, they're all really big books, so I took a little bit of a break. Finished the Live Ship Traders trilogy, and I was like, I'll take a little bit of a break because the next one is also a big chunky book. And I started the next one, Royal Assassin, a few weeks ago, I think. We were coming back from a wedding. I was like, excellent. I've got time on the plane. I've got time on the layovers. I'll go ahead and start the next one. So I did. Didn't get too far. I was very tired, I think. So I didn't read that much. Then I just kind of put it aside. I just checked Storygraph. I am 38% of the way in, which is pretty good. That's still not half. And I started it last month. We're getting close to mid-June. And there's nothing preventing me from picking it up. It's not that I don't enjoy it, and it's not that I'm bored. I think I've just read a lot of really big books over a short amount of time. And I don't know if I'm getting a little burned out because of that. I just kind of was like, let me put this down. Let me step away, which makes no sense because I started Way of Kings the other night. You see this? This is ridiculous too. I think I have a love affair with big chunky books, and I don't apologize for it. But I have started Royal Assassin. I'm still currently reading it. It's still a really good book. I really enjoy the world of the Farseer trilogy, and I'm enjoying seeing the main character and seeing him grow up and where things are taking him in the adventures like that he's having to go through. I might try to work that in more this month. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it by the end of the month, but maybe over the next couple of months, I can give a little more attention to Royal Assassin because it deserves it. The Farseer trilogy absolutely deserves my attention. We don't need to abandon Fitz, okay? The next one going along with the first two books is Assassin's Quest. That's the third in the Farseer trilogy. Obviously, I'm not going to read that one until I finish Royal Assassin. So I'm hoping one of my goals for this year was to finish 2 Robin Hobb series. And I've already finished the Live Ship Traders. And this is where in my brain I was like, well, I've already started the Farseer trilogy. So boom, there's 2 of the Robin Hobb series done. I was basically counting them as done when I hadn't finished them yet. But okay, we need to pump our brakes, okay? I'm hoping, I'm not going to make any promises to myself, but I do think it's doable for me to, within the next 2 months, finish Royal Assassin, and then maybe take a little bit of a break and move on to the final in the trilogy, Assassin's Quest. I do think I can do it. I do think it may be closer to the end of the year by the time I finish the Farseer trilogy, which is fine. It's okay, but I think we can do it. I just need to make it a priority. The next 2, check them off. Both of them. Mad Ship and Ship of Destiny. I already finished those. I cannot tell you how much I love the Live Ship Trader series. I know I haven't finished the Farseer trilogy yet, but I'm in book 2 and I'm almost halfway in Royal Assassin, and even now comparing the 2, I do think I prefer Live Ship Traders over the Farseer trilogy. They're both excellent. I absolutely want copies of both of them because I can see myself rereading both series, but I am leaning a little bit more towards Live Ship Traders being my favorite of the 2 series. But I can check 2 books off this list because both of those are done. Good job, me. I shouldn't get too cocky because we have a whole bunch of unread ones coming up. So we'll go back to the shameful side of this. Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising. These are books 2 and 3 of the Shadow and Bone series. I read Shadow and Bone, I think, last year, and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember too much about it. I'm not going to add a reread because I have way too much going on. So I might go and look up a little summary of Shadow and Bone. I do remember it being one of the better books that I read last year. And because this is the year of finishing series, I put Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising on this list. I have them both. I think they've just been sitting in my Kindle from Kindle Unlimited for a while, probably since last year. It wouldn't surprise me. I really need to read them. I want to finish the series. I've put them on the list. I enjoyed the world that was created. We just need to, there's no excuse. I'm thinking maybe I could fit these in later in the year, sometime in the fall, maybe in the winter. We'll work on those. They're going to get read. We'll get them read and then I will return them. I kind of want to see how long they've been on my Kindle. Hold on. I borrowed both of those on March 7th and March 8th of 2024. It's currently June of 2025. I'll get on those. The Cruel Prince, it's the Folk of the Air series, I think. The Cruel Prince series, my friend Allie has read this series a couple times. She's really enjoyed it. My friend May has also read it and really enjoyed it. And I forget why. I mean, there's never a reason, but I'm sure during one of Allie's streams, she was talking about The Cruel Prince and I was like, oh, I've never read it. And then we just kind of created a buddy read for it, but I'm not sure if we've decided on when it's going to happen. I knew we were like, okay, summertime, maybe a little bit later. So technically I still have some time. I might check in with Allie to see if she wants to start the series in a few months or something, because I would have to get them from the library and I'm not sure what the hold time would be for those. So I need to go check that out. But The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, and The Queen of Nothing, all three I have not read yet, but I am going to. I have plans for a buddy read with Allie, so you can only like half yell at me for those, because technically we were like, let's do a buddy read, but we'll do it mid or later in the year. So technically I still have time. I'm just saying, technically. Jade City, Jade War, and Jade Legacy. This was also a buddy read. My friend Keisha has already read this series. And again, this was one of those where we were both like, she was saying, oh, I want to reread these. And I said, oh, I've never read them. Boom, a buddy read is born. I didn't realize how big these books were. I've had these on my Kindle for many years. I bought them in a sale a long time ago. I'm trying to also work through a lot of the books that are on my Kindle, so that way I can either return them to Kindle Unlimited, or if I've bought them like I have with the Green Bone Saga, that I can actually read them and they won't just sit there on my device the entire time. I just looked up the average pages for these three books and they're very big. I didn't realize how big these books were. They do sound really interesting. I'm still excited to read them, but we were going to read them, I think, this month, but Keisha's had a lot going on. I had a lot going on, and the both of us were like, is it cool if we push it? It's good for you? That's good for me. Okay, we'll push it back at least a month. We've just kind of pushed the whole series buddy read probably by a couple months. That gives her some time to catch up on like real life stuff and books and other things that she's got going on. It gives me a little bit of a chance to catch up on stuff and to take a breath. We'll see how many of these I get to read this year. Ideally, I would read all three. I would like to read the entire trilogy, and it's only June. I still have technically over 6 months to read these books, but I also have a lot of plans in the upcoming months for videos with books that are not on this list whatsoever. While I would like to complete the entire series this year, we may just have to face facts, and maybe I'll get to Jade City and maybe I'll start Jade War, but maybe I'll have to finish Jade Legacy next year. Maybe I won't even get to start Jade War. Maybe I only get to one of the 3 books this year. Time will only tell. This is another one that is a planned buddy read. I know at least I'll start and finish Jade War. Can't promise the other 2, but we're gonna try, and that's all that we can really do. Okay, this next one, Allie is going to yell at me about. Allie yells at everyone about Dungeon Crawler Carl, though, so it's not just me. I read the first Dungeon Crawler Carl at the beginning of the year, and then I think the next month I read the second one. So those 2 have been checked off. That's 2 more that we can check off as done. And I had every intention of reading the 3rd book in, I think, March, but it just didn't happen. March was when things started to get a little busy and a little too much. I had to put that one down, and I was like, okay, maybe in April. We'll try again in April. April, things got even worse. So it didn't happen in April. It didn't happen in May. Maybe it'll happen in June. I've been listening to them on audiobook, and honestly, that's really the only way that I want to read Dungeon Crawler Carl. Maybe this month I can start and finish the 3rd book. I'm not going to commit to one Dungeon Crawler Carl book a month. We'll see how it goes. I do have my training kicking in, and I'm going to be out running for quite some time. Audiobooks are great for that, but so are podcasts. There are a couple of podcasts that I'm really into right now, and a couple that I have a long way to go in the series. It's kind of competing forces. There are days that I'm like, I want to listen to a podcast, and then other days I'm like, I only want to listen to music. Other days, maybe I'll listen to an audiobook. This is one that, if given the chance, I know Allie would be 100% just read Dungeon Crawler Carl. Don't worry about the podcast. Don't worry about the music. Just worry about Carl. So we're going to try. I was really hopeful, as you can tell, because I put all of the available Dungeon Crawler Carls on this list. I think we have had information on the 8th one that it might be released. I can't remember if it's this year or next year, but in the near future, the 8th book is coming, at least probably the audiobook. I'm not sure about the physical. I still have 5 Dungeon Crawler Carl books to go. And from what Allie and my other friends who have listened to it have told me, the audiobooks only get longer, which on the one hand is great because it's such a fun series, such a fun world. The characters are amazing. But on the other hand, a longer audiobook means it's going to take me longer to listen to it because I don't want to speed through it either. I want to be able to enjoy it. I'm going to commit to at least getting books 3 and 4 read this year. We'll see if we can get through the rest of the series, but at least 2 of them. At least book 3. Maybe I can start book 3 this month. I promise. I'm going to pinky promise specifically to Allie. Okay. The next 2, Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms, I already planned on reading this upcoming month. I'm going to attempt the tandem read by reading one of them on my Kindle and then the other one on my tablet because all of the physical books at my library were going to be checked out for a hella long time. And I was like, I don't want these to run into next year, so I'm going to find a workaround. Tried and DNF'd Tower of Dawn last year. I think it took me, I had it at one point. It was like October of 2023, and I finally DNF'd for the time in like January of 2024. I just couldn't do it, so I'm hoping that the tandem read will help me get through Tower of Dawn and help progress me through the series a little bit. This was also kind of a group buddy read. Allie was planning on reading the Throne of Glass series again, and most of us who had read it, or at least read most of it, and then some who have never read it at all, we were like, we're just going to turn this into a buddy read. I've done really well. I haven't read a Throne of Glass one this month because this month had a lot of books in it for me. Every single month so far, I have read one of the Throne of Glass books in the series. Next month, I planned on doing the tandem read. So that one's also upcoming. That one, I do think I will get this series done because the next one on the list is Kingdom of Ash. That one, I may wait until September to read that one because I also have a lot of stuff for August planned. And this one doesn't really fit into my August one. I will be finishing the Throne of Glass series because these last 3 books are the only ones I have not read in the series. I read up until I DNF'd in Tower of Dawn and just didn't pick it back up again. This is the year I will finally finish it. Those are planned. I do think those I can get done pretty easily by the end of the year. Okay, Onyx Storm, honestly, I'm debating on taking this one off, but I'm not sure what I would replace it with. I have read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. When they came out, I was really excited because it was books about dragons. My excitement has waned over the past, year or so. I don't think this is a series that I may or may not finish the series. I think she said there's for sure 5 books planned. I could be wrong. Maybe she's mentioned more, maybe she's mentioned less. I do know the author has said that she's going to be taking a long break, which is fair. She's written pretty big books in a short amount of time, but it's not a series I feel really attached to anymore. And not that I was really attached to the series to begin with. I did read the first 2 books and I enjoyed them. They were fun. There's not really any attachment there, so I may just read this next one if it comes up, if I've got time. But I think I may have just run my course with this series. It's fine. In the future, if I see that Onyx Storm is available at my library, I might check it out, read it just for fun. But I'm not sure if I'll be continuing with the series. And when this book came out earlier this year, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and add that to the list. Not super pumped about it. I kind of forgot I put it on there, to be honest. And I also keep forgetting that it exists in general. So I might take Onyx Storm off, but I don't know what book I would put on there in its place. And I feel like it would be cheating if I put a book on there that I've already read and to be like, oh, read that one, checked it off. I feel like that's cheating. Although it's my list, I can do what I want. But I might look through my TBR and put one on there in its stead and just take this one off. So we're just not going to count Onyx Storm. Whatever book I put on there, I promise that one I for sure will read before the end of the year, because what's the point of putting it on this list if it's just not going to get read? The last one, The Night Country. This is the second book in a duology. It's actually right here behind me. I don't remember when I bought this, but I read the first book, The Hazelwood, a couple of years ago, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't astounding, but I had a good time. I'm still, even at the time, after finishing The Hazelwood, I was going, I'm not sure we need a second book. From some comments and reviews that I read, other people also kind of had that feeling, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to feel about this one. But I've had this book for a couple of years now, and it's also been a couple of years since I read The Hazelwood, so there's no excuse. It's not that big of a book. This might be just when I've got some free time, I could read this one. So maybe in the fall. This seems like it might be a good book to read in the fall. So maybe like September, October, November. How far can I push this? That one I do think I can read by the end of the year. I truly don't think I'm not going to be very impressed by it, in all honesty. I think we ended the first book and we didn't really need a second one, but who knows? I could prove myself wrong. But that one feels more like a late fall type of book. So I'll add that into maybe my November TBR, which is quite a few months away. But when I see it on there, maybe I'll remember, oh, I did make that promise to myself, didn't I? Yeah, you did. So that wraps up my 25 and 25 and how it's going so far. So far, it's not going very well. I don't know why I made this list and then just completely shoved it to the side. I was really excited and then just completely forgot about it, which happens a lot. If something is not directly in front of me, I'm not going to think about it. You know, that's an excuse. We're working on it and we can work on this list too. So I will work on replacing Onyx Storm with another book, and the buddy reads that I do have coming up, that's going to at least start and maybe help me finish some of these other series that are on here that I have not started. I'll also try to work on Royal Assassin and then Assassin's Quest, and then maybe that whole top row will be green and complete and just beautiful. What I think I might do is, as I work on this list, do some updates as we go, maybe like once a quarter. Honestly, I might start right now. It's cloudy right now, but I don't think it's gonna rain. So I still need to go on a walk. So what I'm gonna do is get changed, head outside, and I'm gonna start Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, which is book 3 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I won't finish it today. I'm not going on that long of a walk, but I can start it. And then maybe I can listen to that as I do my runs and my walks and my other workouts this week. All right, so see, I'm making the promise and I'm going to stick to it. If I come back with a vlog or with an update for my 25 and 25 and it still says not finished, then you can yell at me. How about that? But thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below if any of these books are on your TBR for the year. They don't necessarily have to be on a 25 and 25 list. But let me know if you've read any of these, if you do have these on your TBR, or if you're interested in any of these and you want to start a buddy read with me, because apparently that's all me and my friends do. We just create buddy reads out of every single book that we want to read. Thank you again for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.